Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Wild Talk, where we talk everything Warriors. I'm sorry that this is a little bit later of a video. I know this is, I think it's Sunday morning that I'm recording this. It's the only amount of time that I actually have to record this, but I do value every minute that I can talk Warriors to you guys. So thank you so much for joining me again. If you enjoy this sort of content, please make sure you like and subscribe. But without further ado, let's talk about our game against the Doggies over the weekend. So 24-12 win over the Doggies. I thought overall I was pretty positive about this performance, but also I took a couple of negatives out of it. I don't know whether that's just me being very objective and all that sort of stuff, but I thought that our first half was fucking amazing. Our second half, we did cruise quite a little bit, but we'll go through point by point of this game. So positive points to start with and all that sort of stuff, and then we'll go through our negatives and our positives and our players to watch and all that sort of stuff. So starting the game, I thought Shawnee's kicking game was fucking awesome. Obviously getting a repeat set pretty early on, and that led to the Joshy Curran try. So after that repeat set, a dropout happened. We had a couple of hit ups, and then Shawnee, I think on fourth tackle or fifth tackle, maybe fourth tackle, I think most likely. Joshy Curran goes over because of a grubber from Shawnee. Was a really, really great grubber there from Sean Johnson. It just like curved back into where Joshy Curran pretty much was the only man seen around that ball. So really great effort for the Warriors there to score the first try of the match. Then next up, we had a little bit later on, the 24th minute, we had Adam Fanor-Blake going through a really nice hole. Dylan Walker putting him through with a really nice short ball, and Adam Fanor-Blake becoming I think he's our top try scorer this year, which is fucking crazy for a front row to play like that. Adam had an amazing game. It was so good to see him out there. He was just looking like a boy against a man against boys. Fucking hell, I can't even speak. So it was just good to see AFB just be that leader that he is for us at the moment. And also great to see Dylan Walker out in the middle of the park. This is where I think we all kind of agree where we want him to be. He just looks so good out there in the middle and just momentum and ball playing from the middle. I think this is where our Warriors actually look the best at the moment, is our ball playing forwards connecting in the middle. It's where we scored a lot of good tries there. We obviously in history, Tohu Harris has put a lot of boys through holes, even at the start of the season where he put Mitch Barnett for a hole there too. So just really good options there in the middle. Then in the 34th minute, we had Daniel Martinez-Lesniak get over for a really nice try. So this is all coming in the first half. Just three really, really great tries. This one came off a loose ball that hit the ground. Haynes Perham, I think, chucked the ball back out and it just hit the ground. And then Pompey just picked that ball up and he looked really rapid for a second there. He was going most of the way, broke a couple of more tackles, but got pulled up in a 30-meter line, if I do remember correctly. And then Shawnee just kicking it to the corner to Dallin was a really, really good option to start with in this one. Shawnee did have another option later on in the game where he went for the same kick again, where I just didn't think it was on at all. I kind of wish that, we'll talk about that a little bit later anyway. So that finishes off our first half, sort of like we were back and forth throughout most of that game. But when our attack clicked, it clicked well. When it did look clunky in some sort of moments there as well. So I feel like that still comes off of learning the news that Volkman actually broke his finger pretty early on in the game. But also, I feel like whenever Volkman plays there, it's still honestly, the whole team revolves around Shawnee at the moment, and which it should. Shawnee's a great halfback and all that sort of stuff, and he's in form. But when we got players like Volkman there, I feel like, that left side does struggle a little bit because we are so right side centric at the moment. When Shawnee's out, I don't know whether there's just no trust there and all that, because I rate Volkman highly. I think he's a great, great player. But I do also think Volkman is a halfback. So I feel like that could be where it's swaying away. And we'll talk about Luke Metcalf a little bit later on, but he had a great performance in New South Wales Cup for only 41 minutes. So really, really keen to see, because Volkman will be out for a couple of weeks with that broken finger. Luke Metcalf does look really enticing in that position, especially if he gets a limited ball. I think with the moments that he does have with the ball, he can change a game on its head. So a little bit in the second half, we came out and we coasted. This is kind of where I was a little bit down in our performance. I do wish we were more clinical when we went through the game. We could just tell that we were coasting in that second half quite a bit. That's not to take anything away from the Doggies. They fought hard through most of this game. Obviously, a lot of their attacking options just didn't work at the moment. I feel like, we'll talk about that a little bit later on, maybe in my tips video next week. So Harrison Edwards going over in 45th minute, so 5 minutes out of halftime. So that was pretty disappointing for us. Then it was a soft attempt to tackle between Curran and Egan. I feel like Egan just bit too much on Ogden Ball running that nice inside line there, and yeah, just left a massive gap in between him and Curran for Harrison Edwards to get over. But then we strike back, so we started to get a little bit more into this game. We had moments and all that sort of stuff. As I said, we're still not playing to the same momentum building or what we did in the first half. I thought our forwards ran a lot harder in the first half. Everything happened a little bit better in the first than what it did in the second. But Montoya made a massive line break. He pumped 2 people, got on the outside, looked really, really good. But this is where Shawnee probably had his worst decision of the game, going to Watini Zalesniak. But also got to give credit, that young doggies winger, he played really, really well in this game. So shout out to him. A little bit later on, Volkman does strike though, when even with a broken finger, this kid played fucking amazing in this game. In the 66th minute, he put a grubber in that rebounded, regathered the grubber and put a nice right foot step to get over the line. So he is just looking so good, even though like I think in other games and stuff we brought him up, he hadn't looked amazing or like everything like that, but he just looks so composed in the New South Wales Cup. He looks so good. I'm keen to have him as a halfback in the future, and I hope the Warriors do let him know that that is his job very soon. Like honestly, it's very, very soon. So we don't lose a player like him, because he is our future halfback for sure. And then, as I said, like, you know, just to finish off, this is a quick recap and everything of the game. We had Ogdenborg going over in the 73rd minute. It kind of was also disappointing here, because I would have loved to see us get a 13+ victory over the Doggies and all that sort of stuff, especially with the Doggies with all their injuries and the way they kind of looked in this game. They weren't amazing in this game at all, but we were in control pretty much throughout the whole of this game. And I felt like if we just continued on with our game plan, we'll pretty much move on to our negatives and all that sort of stuff here. I just felt like if we just continued on, we could have put a better scoreline on them. But I can't take too much away. We got a really nice win after 3 really tough weeks against top opposition. And then, you know, obviously, going up against the Doggies here, we have been traveling everywhere. It's really nice to get into a bye with a nice win over the Doggies. So there's not really much else I can really say about negatives. Like, we missed 52 tackles, but that was mostly in the second half. And I thought that for 52 tackles missed, I didn't think like we got pizzled too much there. 5 line breaks for the Doggies. So there was a couple of moments where they did poke their nose through and all that sort of stuff, but we held them pretty well. I feel like the Doggies, they were very individual. But like, you know, in moments we held together. Our cover defense was really, really nice. I thought Chancey had a couple of really nice tackles there. Just overall, and I thought Shawnee's defense was actually pretty strong in this game. So the positives, obviously amazing first half. I thought we were really, really good. I remember the start of the season, we were worried about our first half starts, but in this one, we started really, really well and continued it all the way through for that first half. We played a good 40 minutes, then kind of dipped off and then played another good 20 and then dipped off a little bit again. But I do also think that there's a lot of fatigue for our team at the moment. A lot of injuries and all that for our team as well. Just good to see us get another good win there. SJ's kicking game was really, really good for the most of it. I thought he was really, really great. Other than that one kick for Dallin Watini-Zalesniak, the second one didn't really look like it should have been. Like, you know, it was a bit off, you know, all that sort of stuff. But I thought our outside backs were phenomenal, like, through this game. They were so good. They worked so hard. And an AFB and our forward pack were really, really strong in general. I feel like our attack individual, like, was really strong, and like a couple of individuals stood up in our attack. I just think as a collective, it did feel a little bit clunky in moments, but I do also put that down to the last couple of weeks. Injuries, just we haven't had a proper full team just run out there and go for our sets properly. So I'll give it up to the boys there. So running through my players of the matches here. So Chance Nikolkosak, I thought he was amazing here. 182 meters, 3 tackle breaks, 57 post contact meters. I thought he had a really, really strong game back from that Panthers game where he got targeted quite a bit. And this one, very, very good. Defensively, was very strong as well. Montoya, 177 meters, 4 tackle breaks. He had some really, really big moments here, Montoya, and just looked like he's so hard to stop when he gets a full head of steam. Adam Fanor-Blake, 140 run meters, 1 try and a line break. Just amazing. Obviously, the line break with that try, but, you know, 140 run meters, and he was just so strong in the middle. When we had him on the park, I think he only played 60 or 50. He was so dominant for the middle there. It was so good to watch. Pompey, 144 run meters, 41 post-contact meters, and 3 tackle breaks. I thought he was also very strong. Again, a lot of our outside backs, or pretty much most of our team, had quite a bit of missed tackles here, other than Tohu and a couple other big standouts, as we all know. But just in general, I thought, you know, our cover defense and our efforts out there were really, really strong. And I feel like it's just a lot of it comes down to fatigue after the last big couple of weeks. So I can't really hold us against us. SJ, 2 try assists, 2 tackle breaks, 20 tackles, only 2 missed. This is what I mean. Like, in a 2 miss, I don't really remember off the top of my head. The 20 tackles were very strong from what I remember. Whenever he was putting a kick in, he was also leading a nice kick chase as well. Volkman did that very well in this game too. So shout out to Volkman as well. His kicking game did help out Shawnee a little bit, but still Shawnee, 767 kick meters, quite a bit of kick meters. I think he's leading the comp for kick meters at the moment, or at least kicks. And then 2 forced dropouts. So really, really good job from Shawnee there. Just controlled the game really well. And Tohu Harris, our spiritual leader, we know him every week, but again, he just amazes me every week. 48 tackles, only 1 miss. 162 meters, 54 post contact meters. Just really great game there from Tohu. He is our spiritual leader. This is why we have him at the club. And lastly, I want to touch on New South Wales Cup. So obviously coming away with the 14 all draw against the Doggies team that is pretty strong. But then again, the Doggies are still missing a couple of players for New South Wales Cup because they're playing up and down, this and that. But still, the only thing I really want to watch from our New South Wales Cup team here, it was Luke Metcalf. And I think everyone else wanted to watch it. I thought there was other really good performers there. But obviously, I just wanted to watch Luke Metcalf because I do feel like he's going to jump up to our first grade squad when we come back off the bye. So 41 minutes, 1 try. All I can say about that try is speed and strength. Put a really nice fend on, broke the line, just did not look like he was going to get touched at all. 64 run meters, 1 line break, 4 tackle breaks. And the biggest one I did want to touch on was probably the first thing I wanted to look at was a 92 tackle efficiency, 12 tackles, 1 miss. So I thought he was really, really strong in that department as well. If we're going to have him up there, if he's going to be the strike sort of 5'8" nights and stuff, I do want to also see him actually hold himself in defense, and he did that in this game as well. 1 missed tackle, obviously, you know, with 41 minutes, probably not the best thing there, but just a 92% tackle efficiency is a very strong stat there for our number 6 up and coming. So definitely some players to watch out for here, and definitely really good, great performance from us coming into that bye there. So really nice to get a win over there. Obviously get the 2 points in this one, then we get the 2 points next week. So I think we'll be sitting around 5th or something like that coming into a couple of weeks away. So really, really excited for the boys. And then we got Origin period coming up where the Broncos are going to be pretty depleted with a whole lot of Origin out. So really excited to see how we go. We bring the boys over to New Zealand and hopefully we get some really nice wins in between this break. I think we get a couple of buys too. So just really, really strong from us. This is why our start to the season has been very, very good in my eyes, no matter what. We've been playing good footy, but we also picked up some big wins here to start the season. And now during this Origin period and all that sort of stuff, we got a high potential to get into that big top 4, top 8 chats and stuff towards the end of the year. So shout out to all the boys on the weekend. Shout out to Volkman. Hopefully a quickly recovery for him. I think he's been amazing for us either way, and he's our future. So shout out to Mitch Barnett too, also coming out on Instagram. He will be back soon, so I can't wait to see Mitch Barnett back out there because he was one of our shining lights to start the season there too. I thought his defense was so strong for us, and he looked like he wanted to hit blokes, and that really helped our defense immensely. So as I said before, make sure you like, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Please make sure you have a great weekend out there, guys. I'll see you pretty much this week coming for my tips and predictions. Make sure you comment down below your tips and predictions. Thank you so much, guys.